For years now, we've been watching this ever-moving target between synergies in the workplace of employer and employee. We've read article after article about businesses and how they should adapt to millennials and how millennials should adapt to the workplace. It seems, for a time, the thought process was that millennials needed to find ways to fit into the workplace. Soon, as different generations started flooding the workplace, employers started to realize that they might have to change a little bit too. Whether it's open work settings to encourage collaboration or once-a-week work from home days, one thing was clear. The younger generation worked in a different way to those previously. Years ago, in a place I like to call the mundane economy, workers would come in at 9, twist as a cog in a huge wheel, and go home at 5, feeling just okay about their day. That's not to say that there's something inherently wrong with that model, but I'd like to suggest that times are a-changin', especially with the advent and implementation of technology in the workplace. So here comes the fun part. Millennials have a huge opportunity. Today's worker must be able to provide value in many more ways than previously. As employees, we need to access both the left and right side of our brain to make decisions. With everything being measured in the workplace now, we're actually expected to interpret some of those results and suggestions rather than just getting tasks done. As an example, in advertising, my industry, that's now combined with a technology-driven world, there are true analytics on a digital front to see how your campaign is performing. I'm no longer simply required to create a catchy phrase or just a nice-looking logo. My job extends to the performance of that campaign in a very analytical way and usually using some sort of technology platform. From my perspective, and the generations, millennials and the generations to come, have an enormous opportunity to dominate our industries. The older workers who are used to the mundane economy are change-resistant traditionalists for the most part. With this era being what I consider the technology revolution and workplaces adapting to said technology every day, we must be nimble as workers, not only from an analytical standpoint, but down to how we actually communicate to get our tasks done. I would assert that younger generations, based on how we grew up, can understand and adapt to those technologies quicker than some of the older generations. I see it as an opportunity for us to excel, dictate where business is going, and ultimately be a more productive worker. If you're not adapting to tech, anticipating ways to save your company money, or changing internal processes because of that, companies will find people that will find those things. We're all still doing the same types of services and businesses we have for years, but the playing field has dramatically changed. Be prepared for that to change rapidly for some time. If you can find ways to do this, you will inevitably become a more productive employee and thus be recognized as you climb the steps within your organization. Embrace change, find the value of tech, and find the value of your tech knowledge, and utilize it to give the world a workforce like you've never seen.